So what is the difference between each and every version of ScanLadder? Well, externally, every single one is identical. And what I mean about it externally is the surface that the scanner itself sees as it's moving around the arch. These are all individually shaped, individual notches, individual cuts. Every little bit of every different scan body is individual compared to each other. But there is one common feature that remains throughout, and that is the cylinder itself. And that patented approach means that we have one library that is common between all of these different shapes, so that you as a user or the lab as a user can really simplify the workflow. You don't need loads of different library choices. You don't need to work out whether you've got the right library in there. You have one. Now, other than that, on the outside of this, they are identical, as I said, in terms of one set to another set, whether that be a Rosen kit, whether that be a Vortex kit, whether that be a Bredent kit. They're all the same on the outside. So that means that they're all compatible with things like Medit SmartX. They all use the same library, and ultimately it means that there's no difference in use. But in terms of the actual multi-unit fit, there's an important concept to understand between different multi-units. The most common platform is the Nobel standard with a 1.4mm screw, and that's by far the one that's used the most between all the different manufacturers. But there are some that use a slightly wider screw, a 1.6 screw, and some even wider still, 1.72. And there are also proprietary formats for the design of the multi-unit itself and the screw, such as the Bredent system. So the Bredent kit looks exactly the same from the outside, just like these are Bredent ones, but on the inside the fit is either Unicone or fast and fixed. So what that means for you as a user, it depends on what system that you want to use as to which kit that you buy that's appropriate. Now, on our website, www.scanladder.com, you can click compatibility on the menu. When you click compatibility on that menu choice, that'll give you a big long list of implant brands, and you'll be able to see which one it fits into, or whether you need an individual choice like the Bredent Unicone or Fast and Fix. But otherwise, there is a whole host of different compatibility issues that we need to focus on. So it's important to check which one of those is compatible with the implant system that you use. Other than that, the main thing to consider as well is that those screws can't be interchanged. So if you use two systems, a 1.4 system and a 1.6 system, we can't interchange those screws because the screws won't fit. The 1.4 might fit loosely within a 1.6, but you won't be able to fit a 1.6 screw into a 1.4 screw. And the last thing to talk about the internal structure of a ScanLadder scan body is that these screws are based on Rosen screws for the main systems, unless they're specifically a Vortex kit, in which case the internal is specifically for the Vortex screws, or if they're a Bredent, they're specifically for the Bredent screws. What that means is you can't interchange them, and you also can't use standard multi-unit Nobel style or other styles of screws within those scan bodies. And the reason for that is, like we talked about before, is the fact that with those scan bodies, the idea is that we don't want them loosening over time because the screw thread wears. Other systems, the example things like maybe that come with other scanners, those threads wear and the whole kit is lost, whether that be photogrammetry or intraoral photogrammetry machines, where they come with dominoes that wear the threads and you can't take those screws out. What that means is over time, those screws end up becoming worn and you have to replace the whole kit because of a few scan bodies that ended up getting worn out. With the ScanLadder kit, those screws are removable, so potentially you can use a fresh new set of screws on each and every case and use the screws for that case, whether that be provisional or permanent. But it means that you as a user, even if you want to use the Rosen screws that come with it, you can replace them in the future to make sure your kit stays really top notch and screwed down really well. I hope that helps you to understand what the differences are between the kits, and otherwise, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to get in touch, info@scanladder.com. Thank you.